Joanne Gore here. I'm with Jana Johnson from the Kennickell Group, and we're going to be talking about your experience going through the Taktify beta testing program. So, welcome, Jana. And before we get started, tell us a little bit about the Kennickell Group and your role there.
Thank you, Joanne. The Kennickell Group is a commercial printing and wide format and mailing and fulfillment operation located in Savannah, Georgia. And the company is over 100 years old. And I have been here since 1986. So not for 100 years, but for a very long time. So in that period of time, we have seen a lot of changes and have expanded what we offer our customers to keep the company going strong. And the addition of the equipment that we use the software for was one of the value-added products that we have added along the way. Our most recent one, actually.
That's so cool to be involved with a company with such a deep, rich history. You must have seen so much since your time there. Yeah. Just give us an example. When you started working there, what was considered the latest and greatest technology?
Oh, well, I mean, when I started, we were still using film. That's long gone now. I think that the latest and greatest was probably not too long after I started was computers. So when I first started, even job tickets were done by hand. You didn't even, they weren't even typed. It was a great day for everybody in production when we got computers and were able to print things out because they didn't have to decipher people's handwriting anymore. So that was it. That seems like an ancient thing, but it really wasn't that long ago.
That's just, it's so crazy. And I remember when the fax machine was considered
yeah, we had fax machines. Yeah.
Yeah. Now they don't even exist, but that's a whole other conversation. All right. So, when and why did the Kennickell Group get into digital embellishments? Talk about new technology. I mean, going from film to that. So what happened?
Al Kennickell, who is our president, is always on the lookout for something new to do to bring value to our product. And he found out about the MGI varnish machine and decided to purchase it along with some other equipment that we were purchasing. So it was kind of an add-on. We weren't, Al, of course, knew what we were getting, but the rest of us were kind of like, it was a big surprise. We were like, oh, here this is. Let's do something with it. So we got it, but it had not been our primary purchase in that deal. We received it and started just kind of playing around with it, found that it could do some really cool things, but we knew no one who had this type of equipment, and we had no idea what to charge for it. So we were guessing, and it took us a long time to figure out, okay, what are we going to charge for this? And we were basically just treating it like a piece of bindery equipment and, charging materials and time, but not accounting for the value added that it brought to the product. So we really were not charging nearly enough for what we were doing. And as a result, the salespeople weren't that interested in selling it because they weren't going to make any money off of it. So that's kind of how we got involved with Kevin, because he had a solution for that. He's, the Taktify software gave us a way to determine what pricing the market would bear.
Well, thank you for helping me segue into this. So, as we know, Taktify is an AI-powered estimating and pricing software platform that provides the exact costs of production as well as the estimated market value for embellished print based on variables, including job complexity, applications, zip codes, industry verticals, and more. So based on that, when you were first sort of introduced to Taktify, what were your first impressions on it? And when you heard you were being trained on the Taktify platform, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
Well, the first thing, of course, was when we saw the pricing that started coming up, we were like, oh, there's no way we can charge that much for it. But we could. So we got zero pushback on the pricing because people love the way it looks. We did not realize how much people were willing to pay for that. So we were really selling ourselves short in the very beginning. Fortunately, there wasn't too long of a time span there. So, but still, it was a real eye opener as to what people are willing to pay to set their product apart. The software is so easy to use. It's you just put your information in there and it tells you, as long as you put the right information in there, it will give you pricing. And like I said, we have had zero pushback, and it's much higher than we would have anticipated. And of course, now our salespeople love to sell it because they actually make money on the product. So it really has been a game changer for us.
So it sounds like it didn't take too long before everybody's minds was changed. If you had to sort of think about how long did it take from your sort of initial skepticism to really thinking, oh, holy crap, this really will make a difference. How long did that take?
Only a few weeks, because as we did estimates and presenting them to people and got the jobs, we saw, oh, well, okay, this is going to work out. So
how long does it take you? Let me back that up. Okay. Before you worked within Taktify, how long would it take you to create an estimate? Whether it was the right or the wrong estimate, how long did it take you when you first started trying to figure this world of digital embellishments?
Well, that would really depend on what everybody had going on, because it was very much a manual process. I would get an estimate, I would get a quote from a salesperson, and then I would go find the boundary foreman, and we would look at what the project was, and he would give me his best guess, and then we'd try and figure out what the materials would be and how long it was going to take, and then I'd come back and work on the estimate from there. But sometimes he might not be available right away, or I might get to the quote in a time when he wasn't even here. So it could take anywhere from 15 minutes to hours. Now, with the Taktify software, it takes, literally it takes a minute. Once I get everything all plugged in and go, it is so fast and very, very easy to use. I was able to train everybody in my department in one day, and they're all very comfortable with it.
Well, now you've just skipped over a few of my questions, so let me, which is awesome. I love it. This is great. So, how accurate was the pricing?
We, based on the fact that we have not gotten pushback on the pricing, we feel like it's very accurate. We feel like we're giving a fair price that the market will bear while still being able to make a profit on it. And we have not, we're not out to, jack our prices up beyond what we need to. We have not tried pushing the pricing higher. We're pretty happy with the profit margin that it's giving us. Like I said, our customers have accepted it as is.
Did you run into any hiccups where you quoted something, but then afterwards when you went back to reconcile against the actual time it took, against the actual variables, how does Taktify stack up? I mean, it's one thing to predict. It's another thing to get it right. How have you found that?
One of the really nice things about Taktify is they have, as part of the software, you can actually upload a file as to what the embellishment is going to be. So there's really not a lot of guesswork. As long as you have that file, you know exactly what you're going to be doing. So if there is a problem, it's going to be on our end, like if we had some kind of production glitch, which of course the customer's not responsible for that. So as far as accuracy, I would say as long as you have a file, it is extremely accurate.
Oh, that sounds amazing. So who all at Kennickell is using Taktify?
I am the main person that uses it, and then I have two people that also do some estimating, and they use it as well. So it's just the three of us that use it at this time.
I know we talked a little bit around how it's changed the way you sell embellished print. You could charge more, but what else are you seeing or learning as you are using Taktify more and more? What has it opened you up? I would have to imagine that the time savings gives you an opportunity to really spend more time with the client. But I'm just curious, what else have those benefits of having this solution been able to deliver to you, to your team, to the sales team, to operations? Like, what departments has it impacted that you wouldn't necessarily even consider? I mean, it's estimating, but obviously there's going to be a ripple effect.
That's true. And that's a good question. And I would say that it would affect, it actually probably affects every department as the job goes through, because we have a much better understanding because of the software as to what we need to do and how to do it. So I think that it starts off with order entry. When the jobs are entered, the information they have is correct, and on down the line, I mean, there's so many variables in print. And it's not unusual for there to be multiple questions about jobs as it goes through production. That's just, that's kind of the nature of the business. So the more accuracy we have, the better it is for every department. And I would say it's rare, very rare at this point, that we get a question about that particular type of embellishment once the job has been entered. So that saves everybody time. It saves people in administration time because they don't have to go find out the answer. It saves people in production time because they don't have to stop what they're doing and go find the answer. Yeah, I would say it definitely has a ripple effect throughout the whole production process.
And you don't have to chase people around anymore on the shop floor and try to get
lovely.
And, you might lose out on some of those steps, but hey. How hard is it to train others to use the platform? Sounds like it's fairly simple.
It is very easy. It's a single screen estimation process, and you put in the information that you have, which is basically the size, the type of product that it is, the zip code where the user resides, upload a file, or if you don't have a file, you can put the percentage of the area that will be embellished, and basically you just put that in and it spits out the answer for you.
Wow, it sounds so simple. So, I mean, I have to presume I know the answer, but I'm going to ask, would you recommend Taktify to companies that sell digitally embellished print, or do you want to keep it to yourself so you can corner the market?
We would absolutely recommend it. And Kevin and Carlo and all the team are just great to work with. They're very responsive. They want to make things easy. And just because it's easy for me, I mean, it has been, I know that they have spent so much time and effort on making it that way. And I appreciate that because I work with a lot of other software that is not very user-friendly. So it's nice to have something that is. I have also found the team to be very receptive to the real world. A lot of the printing software that we use is, programmers wrote it. And are they familiar with the day-to-day operations? Sometimes not. And sometimes it's hard to get people to understand what you're looking for. And it's not that way with Taktify. They are very responsive and they understand how things work. And that makes a huge difference. In fact, that's one of the reasons I think it's as easy to use as it is, because they have anticipated a lot of the problems and addressed them before they even get to the person using it.
This is genius. Thanks, Jana. So one last question. What is the one piece of advice that you would recommend anyone getting started with digitally embellished prints?
Don't be afraid to charge for it. Basically, we were so worried that our customers would be, oh no, we're not going to pay that much for this. And we were so wrong. I think that we did not appreciate the value of this type of embellishment. And I think that that's the key right there, to appreciate what it can bring to the end product.
Oh, love it. Thank you so much, Jana. Any parting words?
It's a great bit of software and we enjoy using it, and it's been great for the company.
Jana, thank you so much for your time again. I think this was probably even better than the first time. So I really, really, truly appreciate you taking your time, and we'll let you know when the finished product is ready to go.
Okay.